defeat of Kang was never the end, but the beginning? What if everything the Avengers have faced, every crack in the multiverse, every war across timelines, every loss has been orchestrated not by Kang, but by someone far more dangerous, far more calculating, and far more patient? What if Doctor Doom isn't just coming, but he's already here, and he's bringing Kang back? This isn't just another theory. This is a bombshell revelation that could rewire the entire future of the MCU. And if it's true, the endgame we thought we saw in Avengers Endgame was just Doom's opening move. So buckle up, because what you're about to hear might change how you see Secret Wars, the Kang Dynasty, and the fate of every hero in the multiverse. It starts not with Doom, and not with Kang, but with time itself. When He Who Remains was killed at the end of Loki Season 1, the sacred timeline split into chaos, 1,000 threads, infinite possibilities. But the mistake we all made, and that our heroes keep making, is assuming that Kang or his variants were the ones who benefited most from that chaos. But let's take a step back. Kang is a conqueror. He acts, he moves, he fights, he builds empires and burns them down. But Doom? Doom is a strategist. He waits. He lets others destroy themselves. And if we look closely, Doom might have seen the multiverse unraveling long before anyone else. In fact, what if he wanted it to? Here's where it gets interesting. In the comics, Doom is a key player in the Secret Wars storyline. But not just any player. He becomes God Emperor Doom, ruler of a stitched-together multiversal world made from broken realities. And how does that happen? Through the collapse of the multiverse, through incursions. Now let's bring it to the MCU. Ever since Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, we've been hearing one word repeated over and over: incursion. Two universes colliding, annihilating each other. Dangerous, catastrophic, and according to Reed Richards, inevitable if you meddle with the multiverse. But here's the thing. Where there's destruction, Doom sees opportunity. Because in the comics, when the incursions reached their peak, it wasn't Kang who rose to power, it was Doom. He absorbed the power of the Beyonders, rewrote reality, and became a god. Not through brute force, but through preparation, through patience. Sound familiar? Let's connect the dots in the MCU. Kang is clearly being set up as the villain of the Kang Dynasty, but with Jonathan Majors' uncertain future and Marvel's shifting plans, fans are asking, is Kang really the endgame? But what if Marvel always had another card to play? What if Kang was just the distraction, and Doom is the real mastermind? Imagine this. Kang's death at the hands of Ant-Man wasn't the big win we thought it was. It was part of Doom's plan all along. Letting a variant of Kang fall, letting the Avengers believe they've won, giving the TVA a false sense of order. And while everyone's focused on Kang variants popping up across timelines, Doom is quietly maneuvering himself into power, possibly even manipulating time itself to bring Kang back. But why would Doom want to bring back Kang? Why would he revive someone so dangerous? Because Doom understands one thing better than anyone else in the MCU. Power has a cost. And to rule a broken multiverse, to rise in the ashes of collapsing timelines, you need to control the chaos before you conquer it. Kang is chaos incarnate, a multiversal threat feared by every timeline. But in the hands of Doom, Kang isn't a threat, he's a weapon. Doom could very well be the one orchestrating Kang's resurrection, not to stop him, but to use him. And here's where things get wild. In Loki Season 2, we learn that the TVA is stabilizing timelines, pruning variants, and trying to prevent collapse. But they're failing. Time is breaking faster than they can fix it. Kang's variants are multiplying. And beyond all that, something darker is lurking. Something or someone who isn't trying to fix the multiverse, but reshape it. We never saw the face behind the curtain. But who's the one person smart enough to manipulate the TVA, understand multiversal mechanics, and rebuild reality in his own image? Dr. Victor Doom. Now here's the truly terrifying part. Let's assume Doom already has access to Kang's tech. Maybe he's recovered remnants of Kang's temporal core. Maybe he's found a variant, or worse, he created one. With that knowledge, Doom could reverse engineer time itself, bringing back Kang not as a conqueror, but as a servant, bound by Doom's will. The Multiverse Saga isn't just about broken timelines anymore. It's about who controls what comes next, and that might be the ultimate twist. Because if Doom brings Kang back, if he resurrects the most dangerous being across time just to bend him to his own plan, then Kang isn't the big bad, he's just the beginning. Let's go deeper. If Kang's defeat was part of Doom's plan, then how far back does this plan go? How long has Doom been watching, waiting, calculating? The truth might be hiding right in front of us. Think back to Loki, to Multiverse of Madness, and even Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. All of these stories revolve around one thing: control, or more precisely, the illusion of control. The TVA tried to control time, Kang tried to control timelines, Strange tried to control reality, and every time it ended in chaos. But what if Doom wanted that chaos? What if he's been pushing every event toward collapse, toward a moment when no one is in control, except him? In the comics, Doom is more than a villain. He's a visionary, twisted by ego and trauma, yes, but undeniably brilliant. He doesn't destroy just to destroy. He destroys to rebuild. And in the Secret Wars storyline, when the multiverse collapses into nothingness, Doom doesn't flinch. He takes the scraps of broken timelines and forges Battleworld, a patchwork planet ruled by Doom, godlike and untouchable. Now imagine the MCU heading in that direction. The timeline fractures, universes collide, incursions escalate, and amid that chaos, Kang returns, not as a free conqueror, but as Doom's enforcer, used to break down what's left of the multiverse so Doom can build his own. The question is, how does Doom bring Kang back, and why now? There's a terrifying possibility here. Doom may have engineered Kang's death in the quantum realm not to end Kang, but to strip away his autonomy. The Council of Kangs feared the exiled Kang because he was the most dangerous, the most unhinged. But what if Doom saw potential in him, not as a rival, but as a weaponized version of fate? The quantum realm, after all, exists outside of space and time. It's a prison, yes, but also a forge, a place where time can be rewritten. Doom, if he had access to quantum tech through stolen Stark tech or even Reed Richards' research, could reanimate or reconstruct Kang using a temporal echo. Essentially, a snapshot of Kang's consciousness and power before his death. Not a variant, not a clone, but a calculated resurrection using time itself as the tool. And that's where things get even darker. Because this version of Kang wouldn't be free-willed. He wouldn't be trying to conquer timelines on his own. He'd be a puppet, a scalpel, wielded by Doom to cut away the parts of the multiverse he doesn't want. It makes perfect strategic sense. Let Kang continue to be the boogeyman. Let the Avengers rally to stop him. Let them burn out their resources, fracture their alliances, and tear each other apart chasing a threat that's no longer in control of himself. And when they think they've won, when the last Kang is finally erased, Doom steps out of the shadows, revealing that he never needed to fight them. They fought each other, just as he intended. And here's where it all ties together. Every major moment in the Multiverse Saga has hinted at something bigger behind the curtain. WandaVision teased a dark force manipulating reality, not just Wanda's grief. Loki revealed the TVA was built on a lie. No Way Home showed that the boundaries between universes are fragile and easily broken. Doctor Strange 2 showed us incursions are real, and they're coming. Quantumania gave us Kang, yes, but also showed us how vulnerable the timeline is to manipulation from outside its natural flow. And yet, not once have we seen Doom. That's not a mistake. That's the setup. Because Doom doesn't crash onto the stage like Thanos. He doesn't announce himself. He doesn't boast. Doom waits. He studies, and he strikes when the time is right, when all the other players have exhausted themselves. Now think about Avengers Secret Wars. The very name implies multiversal collapse, secret alliances, betrayals, worlds smashing together. And who, in both the comics and the fan theories, is central to that collapse? Not Kang, Doom. In fact, here's a chilling thought. What if Secret Wars doesn't begin with Kang, but ends with him? Ends with the revelation that everything we thought we knew, the TVA, the sacred timeline, the multiversal war, was just the prologue to Doom's rise. Kang's return, orchestrated by Doom, is the smokescreen. It's the diversion. It gives the MCU a way to deliver high-stakes action, multiversal conflict, and time-bending drama, while slowly revealing that the true puppet master has been manipulating outcomes from the start. It's the ultimate long con. And if Doom is already moving pieces, then we have to ask, how many of our heroes are already compromised? How many of them have made decisions influenced by unseen forces? Is Kang really the only one who's returned? Or has Doom been resurrecting or recruiting others? We could be looking at a future where Doom doesn't just rule a broken multiverse, but builds his own team, a multiversal cabal. Think about it, corrupted versions of characters we once trusted. A dark Wanda, a rogue Strange, a variant Tony Stark, even a broken version of Loki, desperate to fix what he helped shatter. Doom could bring them together not through threats, but through logic, through shared pain, through a belief that the multiverse, left unchecked, will destroy itself, and only Doom has the will to save it, even if it means becoming a god. And the scary part? He might be right. That's what makes Doom different from Thanos or Kang. Thanos was obsessed with balance, Kang with order. But Doom? Doom is obsessed with control, not for the sake of power, but because he genuinely believes he can fix what others broke. And that's what makes him the most terrifying villain the MCU has ever faced. Because he won't destroy the multiverse to watch it burn. He'll destroy it to rebuild it in his own image. And Kang? He's just the first tool, brought back from the dead, not as a threat, but as a warning. Because if Doom can bring back Kang the Conqueror, then no one is truly gone, and nothing is safe. So now we ask the final question. If Dr. Doom can bring back Kang, if he can resurrect the most feared villain in the multiverse and bend him to his will, what comes next? Because this isn't about just Kang, it never was. Kang is the fuse, Doom is the detonation, and the MCU as we know it is standing on the edge of a catastrophic chain reaction. Let's look ahead. Imagine Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. The heroes, still fractured from past battles, are chasing the last remaining variants of Kang across unstable timelines. Strange trying to contain incursions. The TVA collapsing under its own corruption. Reality itself cracking. They believe stopping Kang is the key to restoring balance. But then, just when Kang seems cornered, just when the Avengers prepare for one final battle, he kneels. Not to the Avengers, but to him. Doom. Victor Von Doom steps out from the void. Not as a surprise cameo, not as a tease, but as the true villain, the architect behind everything that has happened since the sacred timeline fractured. And in that moment, every hero, every variant, every watcher of the multiverse realizes they were never fighting Kang. They were fighting Doom's plan. Kang's resurrection, the rise of the Council, the TVA's founding, even He Who Remains, all threads in a larger tapestry Doom has been weaving since the beginning. A multiversal chess game, and he's already played all his moves. Now, with Kang under his control and the multiverse weakened, Doom begins his final phase, construction through destruction. This brings us directly into Secret Wars, and here's where everything changes. The multiverse begins to collapse, not randomly, but by design. Doom isn't trying to stop the incursions, he's accelerating them, pushing universes to collide, annihilating weak timelines, pruning chaos at the root. Each incursion he causes clears a path for one perfect world to rise from the ashes, Battle World. But this Battle World isn't just a jigsaw puzzle of broken realities like in the comics. In the MCU, it's a new order, built from the remnants of destroyed universes, ruled by Doom as both savior and god. Imagine this world. A slice of Earth 838 ruled by a dark Strange, stitched together with the ruins of the Quantum Realm, fragments of the Fox X-Men universe, shards of the Raimi Spider-Verse, the broken remains of Wakanda, all barely held together by Doom's will and Kang's tech. It's not just a war of heroes versus villains anymore, it's a war of belief. Because Doom doesn't think he's the villain, he believes he's saving existence. And honestly, can we say he's wrong? The Avengers have failed, repeatedly. The multiverse is tearing itself apart. And the gods, sorcerers, timekeepers, and titans who once promised to protect reality have all fallen short. Doom offers a solution: one world, one law, one mind. His. And that's what makes him the most dangerous foe the Avengers will ever face. Not because of his power, but because of his certainty. Thanos wanted to wipe out half of life to save the other half. But Doom doesn't want to wipe anything out. He wants to reshape everything. Every life, every history, every universe brought under one single, unshakable truth. Doom is right. Now picture the climax. The Avengers, scattered across Battleworld, finally begin to piece together the truth. Strange, perhaps trapped in a dimension of his own making, discovers the resurrection of Kang wasn't a temporal accident, but a deliberate act of timeline engineering by Doom. Loki, having seen the branches of the multiverse, realizes the sacred timeline wasn't sacred at all. It was curated by Doom's proxies to preserve his vision of order. Reed Richards, perhaps the final key, recognizes the same patterns, the same arrogance. Because Doom is his greatest failure, a reflection of what Reed could have become if he'd let ego outweigh empathy. And together, the remaining heroes don't just fight Doom, they must outthink him. Because physical strength means nothing against a villain who already knows what you're going to do, who has seen every variant of this battle play out, who has used Kang to burn the rulebook so he could write his own. This final confrontation wouldn't be about punching harder. It would be about belief, about sacrifice, about proving that no one person, no matter how brilliant, has the right to play God over the multiverse.
And perhaps that's Doom's blind spot. In his quest to eliminate chaos, to bring order, to undo the multiversal mess created by Kang, the Avengers, and the TVA,
he becomes the very thing he claims to oppose, a tyrant with no tolerance for freedom. The final blow isn't Doom's defeat, it's the multiverse rejecting him. His battleworld begins to collapse, not from external attack, but from within. The fragments of reality he's bound together begin to remember who they were. Realities resist, timelines recoil. The people he tried to control awaken, and they fight back, not with weapons, but with will. And Doom, for the first time in his life, he loses control. He's not destroyed, that would be too easy. He's left alone, in a place of silence, surrounded by the very chaos he tried to erase. A man who resurrected Kang, conquered time, and ruled reality, undone not by strength, but by the one force he never respected: choice. And that is how the MCU's Multiverse Saga could end, with Doom, not Kang, as the final boss, with a multiverse reborn not through domination, but through liberation, and with a clear warning. Kang may have been the storm, but Doom was the climate all along. If Marvel follows this path, if Doom truly does bring back Kang as part of a master plan to rule the multiverse, it wouldn't just be one of the boldest moves in MCU history. It would be a reminder that the greatest villains don't shout, they whisper, they wait, and when they strike, everything changes. If this theory blew your mind or gave you a brand new way to look at the future of the MCU, do us a solid, like, share, and subscribe for more deep dive storytelling.